Well, I talked about the new era we're going into where you should really think about expanding your beliefs, your mind, your opinions, because guess what? We just don't have the answers. But here's something really amazing. I'm so excited. I got my first orbs outside, and guess what? I got them on film. Now, don't get too excited. It's not really good, but the fact that I got them at all is amazing, and it's enough to show you that this is the real thing. Well, wait a second. Let me just tell you right now. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through the fears and live an amazing life. I'm so excited. I was just on with my Digital Explorer students and I said, hey, I can't even get a satellite to show up. I'm not too far from the St. Petersburg airport. I mean, we can see planes coming in and out pretty much all night. We have clear skies pretty much all the time here, which is amazing. I don't even have a cloud in the sky right now. So every night I go out and I just look for anything a little bit different. Now, I'm a debunker, and if you guys, many of you have sent photographs and videos, and I've debunked all of them except for one person, that's Nikki. We actually do have our ORBS training that just came out. I'll share that with you shortly. That airport is south. I'm looking south right now. The planes are coming north and south. Either they're coming out or they're going in. And this is the traffic that I see all the time because it's not that far. So if a plane's anywhere near here, it's going into the airport or coming out of it, and they're going in this direction. Now, if I do see a random plane, it's usually during the daytime, and those are smaller planes just, you know, hanging out. Now, I know the difference between a plane and anything else. In fact, I'm always debunking things. I have seen very rarely a satellite. I know what those look like and how they move. What I saw last night was undoubtedly orbs. I filmed them. I tried to close up on them unsuccessfully and lost my focus on them because it's tough to see it when you're looking at it. But I saw them, two of them moving east together, one behind the other, pretty close. Planes would not operate like that. There was no flashing, no other colored lights. It was an orb that was pretty big. It actually appeared to be as big as the star that was also in the picture that you're going to see. Here's what's happening. I'm going to talk about this a little bit before I show you the shot, because I want to get this clear with you and share some really amazing things that you may want to check out before we proceed with what's going on out there. So let's start with, of course, I want to ask you to subscribe. We've been talking about this. People have been unsubscribed when they didn't do it. You're not getting notified of my videos, so make sure you subscribe and click that little bell so you're notified. We've got some crazy algorithms going out there. That's part of what's going on also. People can mess with that, but your choices will stand. And there's always a way where there's a will. Never forget that what you're doing is very important. Your thought counts, your actions count, your consumer choices count. You are that important. That's happening right now. The big shift that we've been going through is happening at every moment. There is no such thing as time. Everything exists at once, and we can change absolutely everything. The future is not in stone. It is just probabilities. I've been saying this for a long time. Don't ever go into fear because you think it's this way. If you want to go out of fear, because you can change that. Staying in fear makes it true. Now I want to talk about this. Why are these orbs showing up? And I want to suggest that this is one of my favorite channels. Like It or Not, News Nation with Ross Coulthart. Now Ross, he interviews some interesting people, and some of them I just don't believe some of it. Others I think it's very interesting. But there are some guys that he's been interviewing, and they're like on Delta Force level, ex-military. They have a lot to lose by stepping out and speaking up. I don't like the term whistleblowers. I sort of like the term of light workers or truth speakers or, something a little bit more interesting, because whistleblowers to me is like, oh, look at this that's happening over here, and we don't know if what's happening over here is real because it's usually tied to the government, but they aren't. They actually pulled completely away from that and said, we can't trust anything they're doing. There's great people in there and not so great. Now, if you've been watching my videos, I have been telling you, and there's one called The Light Workers Are Stepping Out. I assured you well over a year ago, don't worry. There are light workers in corporations, institutions, organizations, and our government, and they will be stepping out, and it's happening. All right, I said, don't worry. No matter how bad or corrupt you think they are, there are light workers everywhere. There is no one thing that's good nor bad. We are all a mix and a balance of everything, all right? Now, people have said, oh, NASA, you can't trust them. I'm sorry. I have a friend who worked at NASA, and she's amazing, and she told me some stuff that's going on there that people just don't talk about. Let's let go of the judgment of anything. There are people making choices. There are people that go along with things because they are not, let's just say, don't feel that they're strong enough to stand up against it, so they go through life like that. Is that you? You're going along with things? And then there are stronger warrior types that stand out and start to speak up and say, you know what, this isn't okay. And that little cushy life I have, or maybe it's not cushy, it's not as important as me making a change and speaking up. And that's what these guys are doing. So Ross has interviewed, Jake Barber is sort of the head of this thing. He's actually, I found out, very wealthy and owns several companies. He has no reason to speak up because this could destroy him. Now, they are funded. Somebody said Northrop Grumman, but I really don't care. Now, I know they're close to, I think it's Robert Bigelow, who once owned Skinwalker Ranch, because he's really curious about the UFOs, the supernatural, the metaphysical, and he doesn't think like other corporations. Now, he owns Bigelow Aerospace. If he's the guy funding them, I have no issues with that. I don't have any issues with anything anyways. It's like, it is what it is. But these guys are really funded. They have helicopters and high-tech equipment to follow these unidentified objects, non-human, and they go past craft. They go into orbs, they go into light beams, they go into things that show up and then disappear, realizing that there are just other dimensions here. It's not like, oh, they travel and then they're shooting away. They may actually just disappear into something else, maybe a portal of some kind. This is way beyond what we've been thinking. So let's let it go of how they get here, what they are. Everything's energy, and it just expresses itself in endless ways. Why are we afraid of that? Now, why are orbs showing up? Orbs are just a natural form of energy in a concentrated form. In other words, we are all just one, but we're expressing the one into different forms as one. We never disconnect from the power because the intelligent power is all things. You can't be independent. If you were, you wouldn't exist because the intelligence is what flows and is everything that makes it so. So you have to be that intelligence to appear as this. Does that make sense? That means that you affect all this and this affects you. You can't get away from that. Now, I just saw a video on New Thinking Aloud. It's a really sort of an out there channel. They were interviewing people who were talking about all this psionics. What is that? Now we are another term you have to, educate yourself on. Basically, people are the communication points to other things. We used to get the radios that got into the frequencies and the other entities could speak through it. Now we're using ourselves and realizing we are the direct communication to all these things because it's a part of us. If we get out of the way of the ego, the beliefs, the limitations, this is how things are, you can't know that. Okay, if you do, come on my show. We'll be lined up around the block finding out what that, is the truth. It is for you. And that's the beauty, is everybody gets to choose that. Now, what's happening is we're becoming more and more aware of what we truly are, and we're going into a space of letting go of the beliefs, the limitations, and service to self. So these guys, Jake Barber and his team, he's got other, I don't think they're Delta Force, but they're on that level, ex-military, who are realizing they're going into this space that, wow, there's lots they don't know, and they're connecting to these energies and realizing they're going to a space of love. Military guys thinking completely different and realizing this is not who and what I am anymore, and that we should never oppose anybody or hate anybody or kill somebody because you don't like a certain type of person or a country or anything. One of these guys point blank said it. You should watch these interviews. There's quite a few of them stepping out now, saying the exact same thing over and over again, not because they've memorized it, because you can truly tell that they have no reason to talk like this other than they're letting us know we are much bigger and greater. This is not to be feared. In fact, we want to go into it because we can solve so many problems. Now, there are forces, of course, there's always this balance. This is what makes the game. And there are those who are so rooted in the material world that they don't want to let go. Why are they threatened by all this power? Because it's greater than them. It appears to be. It's greater than them, the self-serving human, for sure. But it's not greater than them, the intelligence that powers that human that they are, being an illusion in this matrix, planet Earth, that game that we're playing. But they don't recognize that. They want to hang on to the material world. So what are they doing? Well, they're battling anything that appears to be more powerful because they believe it's the end of them, the end of their power over money, power over people, power over governments and whatever. Because that's the game. They love that game. They're in the game. It's like, here I am. Well, this is great. I don't want to give up this. What, to go to what? And in their head, they're going to be in a soup kitchen, and helping people. And they just, because that's how we think of spiritual people, should be this or shouldn't take money. If you do it for a living, yeah, if that's how you make your living, everybody should make a living doing amazing things. And eventually we just won't even have a money exchange. Now, if Bigelow is funding these guys, good. We need some money power behind these investigations and these messages. And these guys are amazing. Now, they were talking about orbs, that you can communicate with them. So before we're just like, oh, orbs are showing up. Now we're realizing we are actually directly communicating with them. In fact, you can communicate with craft. People have said that they felt like they were getting messages. And then, oh, they're crazy. Why? Why is that crazy? I don't understand this, putting people in a box or calling them crazy for what? For what? Do you think source is limited? We're human beings are self-limiting. We've got to end that because our power is not in some institution and what they say. It is us. And the more attention we give that and complain and take sides and they're the enemy, it continues the distraction that they want you to stay in because it keeps us at odds with each other, right? Now, when I went out there last night, super clear, and I said, you know what? I'm love. I'm love. That'd be really great if you could just something, throw me a bone. Well, two of them showed up, went over, pretty big, and were moving, not moving real fast, but moving one after another. And I was like trying to figure out what that could be. And it absolutely was not a craft, definitely not a satellite. It was too close and too big. There were two of them. They did not move like a satellite or a plane. They went past, and you'll see a star down in the bottom. You can tell the difference between the star and these two orbs moving. One just flashed out. And by the way, there was no clouds. So I don't know what happened with that one. The other one kept going and then flashed out. It didn't shoot off, it flashed out. I was so blown away by that. So you're going to see me out here every night. I had my binoculars, and it was definitely a light orb with no other lights on it. It was not a craft. Now, I blew it because I was trying to close up on it, and then I got the palm trees in the way, and I lost it. When I did that, I couldn't find it again, but I was looking at it while I was doing this. So I'm sorry for this really bad video that you're going to see, but here's what's happening. This is exciting stuff. No way. What are those? What is that? What was that? This is what we're going into. And instead of focused on the material world, we're going to be focused on the intelligence that creates the material world, and that we can do anything. And that if you focus on love and you send it around the planet, there's nothing anybody can do to stop it. And that's what's happening right now. So people in power are stepping out. These amazing men, they are men in this, this ex-military. We have scientists, we have professors at universities that are slowly coming. Gary Nolan, Dr. Gary Nolan's one, he's part of that group. He's finally stepping out and saying, okay, I had some, experiences as a kid. There are a lot of these people, by the way, you might be one of them, have had experiences as kids. They've either seen craft or they've had supernatural experiences. Nobody talks about it. We're talking about it. This is the era you're going to see it. These drones, they weren't all just drones. There were orbs, there were other things. These guys have looked at these things through their equipment and said, not everything that you're seeing is some drone. There were way other things. Why? So why are they mixed together? Well, there are other entities watching us. Now, there are portals, there are things all over this planet. They're here. They're underneath the water. They are in caves. They are in mountains. They've been here for centuries watching us. Why? We're part of one family, but we're so dangerous. And those who know how powerful they are, that they might actually get the rest of us who want peace on earth and community to start to do things that are not rooted in the material world, like, our energy. That's a big thing. One of my subscribers, he's like, are you going to help me with this energy at all? I said, I can't do any of that. But it is going to happen. And they're threatened by that. So they want us to turn on everything and think it's evil, and it's not. If it was, we would be gone. And there are good and bad within every species, but they are on such a higher level than us. And the ones that are not really a big fan of us, I can't blame them. Like, they're not going into that space of unconditional love. They're just seeing a bunch of yin-yangs killing each other, doing everything to just make money, even if it hurts other people, like with, the drugs and pharmaceuticals on that. There's no care about the service to the other. And that's what they see. And they're probably thinking, take them out, man. Like, why should we care about them? They are destructive and they are detriment to the universe of which they live in. And their planet might be perfectly fine, but they don't have the kind of love and emotions toward us, because that's just the game they're playing, all right? But they're not harming us. They really aren't. And those of you who say they're eating us, they don't eat. Have you noticed a lot of them don't have mouths? You hear people talking about they're wearing these tight jumpsuits. They never go to the bathroom. Why? They don't have to eat. let's get this craziness. Where are you getting this scary, crazy stuff? And it is crazy. Now, you might believe in it and say, well, you just said everything, exists, and it does. But if you want to live in the world of unconditional love and go into the universal neighborhood of unconditional love and the power and the healing that can take place and the respect to our planet and the renewal that can take place here, that we can renew this planet. It can happen. We can stop it right now. It takes you. And I'm going to be out here pretty much every night with my binoculars and my camera. I'm going to do a much better job next time. I hope that you will send me yours, and I'm going to announce Nikki's class because I have to add a few more things, but it is now available. I will make that available in the description here shortly. If you're in my email list, you'll get notified there. If you're a digital explorer, please come over. This is free. I am training entrepreneurs how to create planet-conscious businesses. Come to me with the craziest idea, and we'll create an online business. Now, if you come with, free energy, yes, we can create an online business with that. It's not really... All right, I'm talking here. It's not really an online business. That's an idea. That's really not what we do. We take any business you have, any idea you have, and we create multiple income streams. We put it into a business strategy. It's really cool. And people are amazed at what they have to go through to create this, and they realize I'm creating a real business. And we're changing the planet. So if you're interested in that, this is a free webinar. It talks about the 5 reasons online businesses go under. It's people chasing money. You're not treating anything like a business. So come check it out. Now, in my description, I have Blue Land products. They are sustainable, non-toxic. They don't come in plastic. Cleaning your home, your laundry, your toilet, you name it. I have my Amazon store. You can get non-toxic, no plastic. Did you know that even makeup has plastic in it and you put it on your skin? Anything that I use, non-plastic, no toxins, no animal was ever harmed, and it's vegan. They don't use animal substances in it. So go in there and check it out. I have in my Amazon store a water filter. One of them looked like it was out of stock, but I have 2 in there. Check it out. Clean out the toxins, arsenic and opiates and just insane stuff in your water. Clean it out. You can get this thing, and they are portable. You don't have to drill a hole in your counter, especially if you rent. If you go on vacation, you drive to a cabin, you can take it with you. And it's a lot cheaper than you buying all those plastic bottles and drinking poison. So I hope you enjoyed my little display of, yes, orbs are finally showing up for me. And if you think it's not an orb, hey, I'm not saying it absolutely is one thing. There definitely weren't helicopters. Process of elimination. And by the way, I'm out there every night, and I'll tell you what, I've seen things that look like orbs, and I'm like, no, that's either a satellite or it's a plane. Oh my gosh, it's Animal Kingdom. Guys, give me a break. I got squirrels and turtles and snakes, crows sitting here, and orbs. Let's have fun with this. So check out News Nation. Watch these interviews. They're pretty amazing. These guys are credible, and we're going to talk more about this, and I'm going to explore it more, and I want to hear more about what you're experiencing, because that's the world we're going into. It's powerful, and you have everything you need here. It's not out there. The things that you ask help for are the rest of the pieces, or the seemingly separate pieces that are actually one puzzle. You're just asking for reinforcements. Go ahead and ask. It is an aspect of you, but it does work. That's why prayer works, right? But you hold the power already. Nobody can take your energy, or, so your energy and energy vampires. You can't. We're one thing. How can you take your energy unless you believe it, right? And you are a human being. There's some aspects to this that, that are real. but we're going to explore that too. So get ready. Let's have some fun. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.